From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop TV ICD Primetime Cap. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. And it is time for the premier sports betting show. So let's go ahead and jump into this. And it's going to be us talking about the boat report. Chargers fall to 5-8 after getting beat down by Broncos 24-7. Also lose Herbert. I would say that this is probably the season for Justin Herbert, because Justin Herbert is a gamer. He is a guy that will play hurt. He's a guy that, has played hurt and everything before. But at this moment in time, though, what's the point? You know what I mean? Because the more and more you go out there, the more and more you're getting beat up, the more and more it's just like, you know what? This is an absolute wrap on the situation for this guy this year. You know what I mean? And, I have defended Brandon Staley profusely over the last few years. And pretty much this is where I just pretty much say it's time. You know what I mean? Brandon Staley got to go. Okay. And Brandon Staley is the guy that is pretty much, I won't say he's holding this thing up, but I just think that they need a fresh start. I think, he's wasted two very, very good seasons. You know what I mean? With some of the best roster, top 5 roster in the NFL. And he hasn't even been able to win more than 10 games with this group. Blows a 27-zip lead. Enough is enough. I would say you let him finish the season to be nice, so then you don't have to pay him early. But then I would say, in all honesty, in reality, you have to let him go. And no, you don't keep Kellen Moore here either. What you do is you do the smart thing. You go get Eric Bieniemy, the guy that absolutely tortured you for a decade as the Chiefs offensive coordinator. He was overlooked many times. Make sure you right the wrongs. And then you can go ahead and you can give yourself a chance to actually win this division, because now you'll have an actual coach that's going to put together a pretty good offense, and he'll probably hire one of the better defensive minds in the league that haven't been able to become a defensive coordinator yet and put that defense over the top. But when you got Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Derwin James, you're not going to have them for that much longer. And literally right now, if you're a Chargers fan, I understand your frustration. You earn the right to be frustrated with this situation. At the end of the day, yesterday was just an absolute. This was their worst game of the season, pretty much. They were flat from the start, but you know what? Give Denver a lot of props. Denver came out on a mission, and they always will, pretty much put it together in a sense to where. That they look good. But I told you guys early in the season, the Broncos are a team that have a veteran quarterback and a veteran coach. When they get into the flow, they'll be a tough team to beat. And that's where we're at right now. This team, after, starting the season off 1-5, find themselves 6-1 since that point. And they're playing great football, and they're a game out of the West right now. So that's pretty good. And they have a win on the Chiefs this year as well, too. So this was a huge win because a lot of us didn't see them winning this game. And you look at the stats, Herbert's 96 yards yesterday, under 50%, almost over 50% for completion percentage. But he had a 45.2 QBR yesterday. That was awful. And he got sacked 4 times and threw an interception as well, too. That he has to clean that up. Keenan Allen had a 6 reception game, but what does it matter, man, if it's only for 68 yards? And then Quentin Johnston, 91 yards as well, too. It just was a bad game, dude. And it pretty much, this was just a very bad, situation for the Chargers yesterday. But all props to the Broncos for doing what they have to do. They weren't going to come lay down for the Chargers. They didn't care that it was a home game. They didn't care that the Chargers got playoff ramifications headed into this. Now things have changed up a little bit. Now you have a 7-6 Broncos team that finds themselves right in the playoff picture at this point right now, with Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Indianapolis, Houston as well too. Also, you throw on Buffalo into this situation as well. It's a wild situation going on now to get to the playoffs right now in the AFC. So with that, we move forward. But all in all, the Bolts, you already know what time it is. This is not a big discussion today about what's going on with this team. It's very simple. They're not going to make the playoffs, and what's going to happen is they're going to fire their coach, okay? And I think instead of just you got to fire everybody. Straight up, you got to fire everybody. And I'll keep it real with you. One of these golden receivers, one of these vet receivers that are on the squad, they're going to. Okay? Because at the end of the day, the Chargers are going to say, you know what, it's time just to go ahead and rebuild this thing. Let's see what we can do for Justin Herbert. Let's go get him off offensive line, all that good stuff. We're investing in guys that are not worth the money. So we move forward. All right, so the Browns get gutty win versus Jags, move to 8-5, and are locked in for the wild card. Yeah, the Browns pretty much locked themselves in. The Browns really just need 2 more wins on the season, and they'll be in the playoffs. 10-7 gets you in. But the Browns, when you look at their record, they can win 3 more games in that group. You know what I mean? And they can really, really make it look good too, because they're going against the Bears. The Jets are going to come up in that group as well too. You got Houston, who's now kind of showing that the pressure may be too much for him. CJ Stroud had to step out of the game yesterday with a concussion, so most likely he'll miss next week as well too, because they can afford to lose. That's the whole thing. And then they'll probably have him ready for Cleveland, but he'll be going against another Jets type secondary when he goes against the Browns as well too. So it's going to be a tough call for him, but the Browns can actually go ahead and win their next 3 in a row on the way out, and then take a break at the end of the season when they play against Cincinnati, who's also chasing a playoff spot as well too. So the Browns, that was a big win. That was a gutty win yesterday. And Njoku really did go ahead and raise the demons up off of his shoulder, man. He had a real pressure coming into this game about his hands, and he was able to score 2 big touchdowns to start this game to really get the Browns in position and have them dominant and have them really perform very well. I didn't like the way that the defense kept making mistakes yesterday, and I didn't like the way that the offense kept turning over the ball in the red zone. But all in all, the Browns still had a very, very good game. It wasn't a perfect game, but they showed that they are ready for the next step. This isn't anymore. It's no more, a wait and see approach with the Browns. The Browns have arrived. Okay. They are here. They are one of the teams that you have to watch out for in the AFC. They're going to make the playoffs this year. They're going to be a team that's going to cause problems. Even though, the quarterback situation is kind of unsettled, Joe Flacco has returned. This isn't Joe Flacco who was with the lowly Jets. This isn't Joe Flacco who was with the lowly Broncos. This is Joe Flacco back with the Ravens somewhat. And, how he would be looking if he was still the Ravens quarterback right now, in my opinion, as well, too. Now, the Browns have never had a quarterback that's been this type of winner over their last 25 years since coming back after what occurred in, the early 90s and in the mid 90s and everything. But Joe Flacco gives the Browns the best chance to go as far as they want to go. That's the whole thing. I love DTR. DTR is going to be a great asset for the future, but he's still a rookie. He's still learning. And you know what? It's better to just have the vet here. but it's good to have DTR ready to roll because he does have everything it takes to be a great quarterback in this league. So the Browns do very well yesterday. Once again, the Jaguars could afford to lose after seeing everybody else lose in their division yesterday, with the Colts and Texans both losing, who were nipping at the heels of this team as well too. Because if one of them won yesterday, they could have probably took over first place in the AFC South. But with those two losses, you got the Jags get to hold them off for just another week. But all in all, great effort from the Browns, great win from the Browns. Jaguars, we know that they were dealing with a very difficult situation with Trevor Lawrence having the bum ankle yesterday as well too. It showed up a lot of times in that game, but you know what? Trev was still a damn gamer yesterday. I was still like, if the guy was chasing the MVP, that was what wins you an MVP. Even though you lost, you still showed that you are ready to go ahead and risk your season for your team or your career. And that's what the fans love to see. So it is what it is, and we move forward from there. All right, so we have ourselves the next topic in hand. That's going to be the Ravens win in overtime, 37-31 against the Rams. Ravens now hold the number one seed in the AFC. So pretty much the Ravens have finally got to exactly to where they've wanted to get to, and that's to the top of the mountain. And they've earned it. They've played well all season. They played great all season. They were able to win this game yesterday with big moves yesterday, and they had to win it in overtime as well too. So a very gutsy win against an ascending Rams team. The Rams, to me, are a team that are playing themselves right into the playoffs and everything like that. But this was a tough game for them going in off the top. It wasn't like they were going into a game that had them as a heavy favorite or anything of that nature. They went into a game that they were going to have to really be challenged in, and pretty much they went ahead and got the memo, and they went ahead and took care of their business and got themselves a good win. Yesterday, the defense wasn't their calling card at home. The last few home games that they've had some issues with being able to really be that force that they were in the beginning of the season, but still they were able to win this game yesterday because the Rams are playing like a playoff team. They're playing like a playoff team. These games are going to go like this, at the end of the day. And, the Rams are very, very determined to go ahead and, really right their wrongs from early on in the season. Since this team went 3-6, this team has been absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? This team is now 6-7, but they're 3-1 since that point. So you have to understand that this team is ascending and they're making themselves look really good. I still think that they finish up the season 9-8 and they figure out how to get into the wild card, and they figure out how to maybe, dance a little bit more than just the wild card round as well too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But the Rams, they were really gutty yesterday. They had a good effort yesterday. And when you look at how they showed up, there you can't do anything but clap. But at the end of the day, you don't want to reward losses too hard. But Matt Stafford, almost 300 yards throwing yesterday, 3 touchdowns as well, too. Kyren Williams has really certified that running game as well, too. Cooper Kupp was back to Cooper Kupp things, but he was able to put some Puka into it as well, too. This is a dangerous situation coming up for a lot of NFC teams, and I'm telling you, if this team makes the playoffs, you do not want to play them in the wild card round if you're the 2, 3, 4 seed, in my opinion. So with that, we move forward. Rams, great win. Much power to you guys. I mean, Ravens, great win. Rams, great effort. Much power to you. But all in all, we move forward. Bills, keep playoff hopes alive with a big win at Arrowhead, beating Chiefs 20-17. That was the second year in a row they went to Kansas City. They beat Buffalo. No problemo. And of course, since he couldn't get his way yesterday, Patrick Mahomes had to, have a little bit of a fit somewhat, you know what I mean? And started kind of showing off his diva ways a little bit. And it's almost like, bro, you know how many favors the NFL referees and officiating has done for the Chiefs over the last decade or last 5 years or so, as they've been going to Super Bowls, all this good stuff. And the world don't revolve around the Chiefs, okay? It don't matter what happened yesterday. The guy was offsides. Everybody saw it. Who cares? You guys did. Look, if you're going to be in that situation, you got to be smart in that situation. And how did you get yourself in the situation? The Bills jumped out to a 14-zip lead. They were playing from behind the whole game. Who cares about what you're crying about here in the last 2 minutes of the game, dude? You need to hold your players accountable. And you had another opportunity to go ahead and get yourself back into the end zone. It didn't work out the way that y'all thought it was going to be. So what happens is that now the Chiefs lose another game. The Chiefs, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're struggling. Okay? They're struggling. All right? They're struggling because their quarterback has been getting figured out. They got one real receiver out there in Kelsey. Everybody else is kind of stagnant in the receiver position. And then Isaiah Pacheco didn't play yesterday either. He's the X factor. I keep telling you guys this. Everybody, Patrick Mahomes. No, it's a total team effort. And when they're missing guys off this team, they're not that good. And Kelsey needs Pacheco. And I'm telling you, Mahomes needs Pacheco. Kelsey needs Pacheco. The receivers need Pacheco. The line needs Pacheco. He just makes them jersey tough. And that's exactly what he does. But props to the Bills. The Bills took care of their business yesterday. All right? The Bills were good. They were great. And you know what? They were about to lose a game on some bullshit again. But you know what? The refs actually went ahead and did the right thing. Wow. When the ref does the right thing, now everybody wants to complain about it. Why? Because you missed your parlay, or the Chiefs were your lock of the year, or some bullshit like that. You have to understand, at the end of the day, when you bet, it's just entertainment. That's how you sleep better at night. When you over there putting up mortgages, you know what I mean? So it is what it is at the end of the day. But great game from the Bills. The Chiefs are just using this as motivation. They'll be back next week. They'll probably get themselves a monster win, blowout victory, all that good stuff. But all in all, great game yesterday. I really do like the fact that the Buffalo Bills were able to win this game, because I got this feeling that the Buffalo Bills will win their next 4 going out. I promise. I just got that feeling that the Bills are going to finish their season up 11-6 and be right there in the playoff picture with everybody else. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But that's going to be that for the Chiefs and the Bills. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our next topic, which is going to be the Cowboys crush Eagles 33-13 on SNF and are now top of the NFC East. What a moment for this team. This team is going to be very, very happy moving forward for the rest of the season. Cowboys are playing absolutely lights out. Dak Prescott is heavily favored in the MVP race as well, too, this year. CeeDee Lamb is having a out-of-this-world season as well, too. Just absolutely incredible stuff happening for that guy as well, too. Tony Pollard has picked up where he left off, and they got other running backs as well, too, that are very skilled. Then he got the 3-headed monster with the tight ends as well, too. And then you got a great X factor in Brandon Cooks at the end of the day. Brandon Cooks played in 2 consecutive Super Bowls. He was a very key piece to those teams as well, too. And this is probably the guy that you need to put you over the top to get to where you want to get to, and that's the Super Bowl. So you know what? The Cowboys' only focus right now is Super Bowl. They know they're a playoff team. They know all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, their job is to get to that Super Bowl. The Cowboys haven't been in a championship game in almost 30 years. And they're going to be in the championship game this year without a doubt, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if they got to play the Eagles again, they'll kick the Eagles' ass again, because they're that much better than the Eagles this season, in my opinion. They should have won the first game in Philly, because the Eagles, to me, are a bunch of robots. You know what I mean? They have really, really talented players, but they run with a very, very mechanical playbook. You know what I mean? And they don't have a great coach. Their coach is really just riding the momentum of a great team. You know what I mean? If you gave somebody like Bill Belichick the Eagles right now, they wouldn't have lost the game this season because he keeps the discipline going. He ain't going to be acting like nobody's friend. Okay. He's not going to be your buddy. All right. He's not doing that. He's going to coach you. His coaches are going to coach you, and I think that the Eagles may have a little bit of bad luck. You got sideline people interfering in games and stuff like that. You got people just way too into the Twitterverse and all that good stuff. And you see the San Francisco 49ers, you see the Cowboys, their players aren't doing all that. They're not worried about opinions from people outside of that locker room. But the Eagles are. And that's where you really go and tell yourself, this team, y'all done gave them way too much. It's way too much going on with this team right now. So, at the end of the day, I don't like where the Eagles are going. They'll still make the playoffs. They'll still be one of the top teams in the very weak NFC. But at the end of the day, they're not better than the Cowboys, and they're not better than the 49ers. So it is what it is. And I don't care who's pissed off about it. That's my opinion. I think that the Eagles are a team that's absolutely drowning right now. And I saw it coming from a mile away. I saw it coming last month when they kept being in close games with teams that they weren't supposed to be in close games with. And then the Jets loss should just give you everything you should know about this team. If you play them hard, they'll bow down. Okay? If you play them hard enough, they'll bow down. And that's exactly what the Cowboys did. That's exactly what the 49ers did. They didn't play no games with this team. They absolutely sat them down and said, you know what? You're going to enjoy this. So it is what it is. Cowboys looking good. Possibly could win the whole NFC. They could be the number one seed right now. They are atop of the NFC East. I think they will stay at the top of the NFC East as well, too. So, with that will be a wrap on our NFL aftermath for week 14. So, you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the PrimeTime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, and I'll be right back at you.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, here we are. We are ready to jump on in and get ourselves situated with the NBA. Let's talk a little Lakers to start this show off. Oh man, it's Monday, y'all. Forgive me. Energy is just all over the place. But damn. All right. State of Lakers. Lakers win the in-season tournament. That was beautiful to see. The Lakers went and owned Vegas. They came, they saw, they conquered, and they're back in LA. Now, they don't have to play today. They come back, I think, tomorrow night. But, man, they were absolutely on point the whole tournament. They blew out New Orleans. That was just an absolute just fun fest, blowing them out. And then Saturday, the Pacers made it a little close for a while. And then, you know what? The Lakers just said, you know what? We're tired of messing around with you guys. Stepped on the gas and just went ahead and beat they ass. That's all I can say. And, you know, LeBron was great, but AD was better. AD, 41 points, 20 rebounds. Just absolutely incredible. He made everybody love the defensive end of basketball because the way he went about his business, making sure that he was the anchor of the Lakers defense, and everybody fell into that, and everybody played great basketball because of that too. You know, Darvin Ham probably had his best moment as a coach as well. The Lakers just were all on point. It was just a beautiful thing to watch. It was a beautiful thing to see. And you know what? This is a great barometer for who the Lakers can truly be. The Lakers are still building chemistry as a team, but this right here is the chemistry. This right here, it gives you about 50 points when it comes to building chemistry. You know what I mean? And it's absolutely incredible because the Lakers have put themselves ahead of everybody else when it comes to how you approach the playoffs. And the Lakers will be very ready for the playoffs. And now the Lakers will actually take on the regular season as pretty much a very good, you know, measuring point of who they truly are. The Lakers may wind up being the best team in the Western Conference when the season's all said and done. Right now, it's Minnesota. We'll talk about them in a second because they do play tonight as well, too. But, you know, the Lakers are playing great basketball. They're playing phenomenal basketball. They're doing everything that you're supposed to do when you're in these games and everything like that. So, you know, the Lakers are just very, very good. They're confident. You love everything that's going on with this team. You know, and big props to the bench as well. Jackson Hayes, great job. You know, Rue, great job. Austin Reeves, 6th man of the year. Let's just say it now. You know what I mean? Because that's exactly who he is. That's what he's going to be, the 6th man of the year this year. And then you know what? Max Christie is coming along nicely. I know Coach was kind of tough on him, but you know what? Guys got to show me. They got to show and prove that they belong. And you know what? Max Christie has shown over the last few games that he does belong on this team. He does belong in this league. And you know what? There's great things happening here in Hollywood. I'm telling you, there's great things happening here. LeBron is really confident. LeBron wants to be, you know, the lead all be all for getting the Lakers this championship. I think that he really has it in the back of his head that this could be it, you know, and let's go ahead and try to do the best we possibly can so we can win another ship. Because I think this is what is keeping LeBron hungry, is another championship. And I think the Lakers get the memo now. A lot of people are now comfortable with the roster. As I said before, they had to build chemistry. You don't just build chemistry the first day you get with people. And LeBron James isn't really a great leader. He's a great player, but he doesn't lead the right way. He's too buddy-buddy. You know what I mean? He doesn't really hold people accountable, in my opinion. Kobe Bryant got the best out of his teammates because he held people accountable. He didn't give a rat's booty about what you did the night before. You need to show up and play. We're not over here in the locker room joking and cracking jokes and having a good time. It's time. This is a job. Let's go and win this basketball game, and we'll go have shits and giggles afterwards. And you know what? LeBron is starting to get that memo, and it's starting to really help the Lakers. And you know what? Beautiful stuff. Lakers are the first in-season tournament champion. LeBron James was the MVP. Absolutely epic moment there. And you know what? Just great, great, great things are happening for this Laker team. And we do have more to the story for this year. So the Lakers can't take this as some, you know, title that is going to automatically get them into the playoffs this year, but this is a good start. So with that, let's move forward. All right. NBA, Monday night. We got 13 games tonight. Very unusual for the NBA, but hey, you know what? They got to get it in, baby. They got to get it in after making the league go dark for half a week. You know what I mean? You know, they went dark 3 times last week. So, you know, they got to get that money back. So, and they got to get them making sure them sponsors is happy too. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into our first game, which is going to be this. This is going to be the Cavs at the Magic. The Cavs coming to this game 13-9. The Magic's 15-7. Over under 227.5. And we have a 1.5 to the favorite as the what you call it. And I'm looking at this and I said to myself, the Cavs really are playing pretty good basketball, but they want to be better. The Magic are playing exactly where they want to be. This is exactly what they envisioned during preseason, summertime, all that stuff. Is that they got Paolo Banchero, a guy who's considerably he's in my top 10. Okay, he's an awesome player, well-rounded player that does everything his team asks of him. And you know what? He leads that team as well, too. Cole Anthony, great shooter. Jalen Suggs, great player, period, point blank. Then you get back some good people in you get back some good some good roster talent with Jonathan Isaac finally being healthy and playing some good basketball as well, too. So there's just a lot of good things going on with this Orlando team. They've won their last 3 out of 5 as well, too. They did drop 2 in a row, but they did win their last game against lowly Detroit. And you know what? The Cavs have already beat them this season by 10, beating them 121-111. And the Cavs have actually won their last 4 out of 5 games as well, too. So they're playing really good basketball right now. It's crazy that you got the Magic now, the 12th highest scoring team in the league at 115. The Cavs are 22nd in that category as well, too. So when I look at this game and the way that it sets up, I really do like the under in this spot. I think the under is the play here. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But I do like the under 227. So let's move on to our next game. And this is going to be this. And it's going to be the Nuggets and the Hawks. And the Nuggets coming in here 14-9. The Hawks are 9-12. We got a plus 2.5 as well, too. We got an over-under 241.5. These teams are very, very these teams are trying to both keep themselves consistent. The Hawks 9-12, they're going through a little bit of a jam. They've lost their last 4 out of 5. Then you have the Nuggets, surprisingly, have lost their last 3 in a row. And peep this team started off 6-0 this year. Since then, they're 8-9. So, they're trying to get acclimated back with Jamal Murray. They're trying to go ahead and get themselves back into the flow of things as well, too, as a group, because they've had other guys out as well, too. So this game is a little bit more competitive than it looks on paper. You have a Hawks team that's number 2 in the league when it comes to the points scored per game. They're 122 per game in that category. Now, offensively, the Hawks are much better, but we know that overall the Nuggets are much better. So when I look at this game, I feel like the way that you have to look at it is like this. The Hawks just have not played good teams that well. They've beat up on all the bad teams this year. And at home, they get a little too cute for me. So I think tonight I'm going to go ahead and gamble a little bit, because this is kind of like a tricky -2.5. But it's also kind of a tricky dog bet as well, too. So it's a 50-50 situation, in my opinion. All these games are 50-50, but this is truly a 50-50 when you look at the line. So I really do like to go ahead and say, let's go ahead and take the Nuggets tonight with the -2.5. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so we have ourselves our next game coming up, which is going to be a good one between the Pelicans and the Wolves. The Pelicans coming into this game 12-11. The Wolves 17-4. You have a -3.5 point spread as well. 222.5 for the over/under tonight. Man, this is going to be a very, very good game. You got the Wolves coming into this bad boy, and the Wolves are 17-4. The Pelicans 12-11. So you look at this Pelicans team, they are the slight favorite at 3.5, and they've won their last 3 out of 5, and they should be pretty pissed coming out of their loss as well, too. But then you have this red hot Wolves team who's hot again, winners of 6 in a row. I know that they're going to rest Ant tonight as well, too. That's why they're not the favorite here, because Ant is a 50-50, but most likely Ant will rest the hip tonight because he's having some hip issues. He did fall pretty bad the other night. Then he fell again. So you know what? You got to get some rest. So that's what I'm seeing with this situation. But it's an absolutely incredible scene right now when it comes to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are actually 3 games ahead in the Western Conference as the number 1 seed. Guess who's behind them? Oklahoma City. This is absolutely nuts. And then you have a Lakers team that's actually the 5th seed behind Denver, and Dallas is the 3rd seed. And Sacramento is the 6th. And then you have Phoenix on the outside looking in with Houston, the Clippers, and the Pelicans. And guess who's not in? The Warriors, who are having a real come to reality season. You know what I mean? So I look at this group, Wolves, Pelicans, very good game. Tonight, I'm going to go ahead. I'm about to be kind of, you're riding a hot hand. Man, but, their best players out. I don't care. I'm taking the Nuggets with the plus 150 money line. Dog of the day in the NBA. So let's go ahead and see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right. We have ourselves the Bucks and the Bulls. The Bucks and Bulls, pretty good. Always a fun game. Bulls 9-14. The Bucks are 15-7, coming fresh off of losing in the tournament as well. They are 11.5 point favorite as well too tonight. Over under 232.5 in this game. I just really do think that the Bucks. First team that they see that they just want to go ahead and dismantle. But this is Chicago, too. The Bulls know what's coming tonight. They're not just going to sit up there and just lay down for this team either. Now, the Bulls have won their last 4 in a row. Being a plus 11.5 in this game is absolutely blasphemy, in my opinion. I think that's not a good deal right there because you're going against a division rival. They're fresh off of a Vegas trip as well, too. Don't act like them boys wasn't down there partying a little bit this weekend. So they're coming fresh off of a Vegas weekend. The Bulls had to actually play this weekend. You know what I mean? That stuff, man, where, you got left at home while the homies when they had the trip. You know what I mean? And you had to stay at work. And so the working man should be able to win this game tonight. But I think taking the plus 11.5 will be the strongest bet in this spot because that's a double down insurance right there because you're getting double-digit spread at that point. You're also getting a team that does play this team to a very, very close they play very close. It's that simple. And, I just like the Bulls tonight. I just like them a lot. And I think that 4 in a row gives me the utmost confidence in this team tonight to go ahead and cover that spread at a plus 11.5. As we move on to our next game, this should be probably the game of the night when you really look at it. And that's going to be this one right here, which is going to be the Kings and the Nets. The Nets, once again, playing good, gritty basketball. The Kings, once again, playing great with one of the best players in the league right now. And he's probably going to be a guy that's going to be highly paid fairly soon as well, too. He turned down his extension with the Kings, but he's looking for more money as well, too. So he did what you're supposed to do. Now you have a 4.5 point spread in this game, 235.5 on the money line. I'm not money line, but on the over-under. The over-under has been going down a little bit today as well, too. So you have that in mind, and then you also have a game that really does present the unexpected element. You know what I mean? Like one injury could really turn the game in one direction. Or, if there's a certain situation that happens where, big runs happen and things like that, this game can become very one-sided. So that's why you have the spread being 236 and 235.5 at this point, but it did open up at 236.5. So pretty much when I look at this game tonight, I really do feel like the Nets are a team that you have to take very seriously here. It's not a gimme game for the Kings. The Kings are a great team, but the Kings have not reached that level yet where they're dominating, the middling and mediocre teams in the NBA. And the Nets are not one of the middling and mediocre teams in the NBA, but I wouldn't say that they're elite. They're a little bit above middling. So pretty much this should be a really, really fun game tonight. I think that the best bet here is to watch the scoreboard, and I'm taking the over 236, which I have on my ticket. So there it is. There it is. That's going to be the Kings and the Nets for you tonight. And with that, that's going to be a wrap on our NBA Monday night. So when I get back, I will go ahead and jump into the talking tickets. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right. We are back. Talking tickets. Here we are. Boom. Talking tickets. Here we are. Boom. All right. So, talking tickets up first. Let's go ahead and jump into the college game. And the CBB PrimeTime PK6 comes in at 71-1 today. We got Fairleigh Dickinson money line minus 105. We got Robert Morris money line plus 175. We got Penn minus 5.5. Stone Hill plus 14. Then we also have Mississippi Valley State plus 41. And then we have the nightcap in the Valley tonight. Well, if you're from Cali, if you're from SoCal, you know what I mean when I say the Valley. The SFV, baby, over at Northridge. Cal State, Northridge. CSUN. All right, so whenever I say CSUN, y'all, it's Cal State, Northridge, okay? Because some days I just want to say CSUN because that's what we call it. CSUN, CSF, you know what I mean? What's the other one? CSR, which is Riverside. No, Riverside is a UC. I'm sorry, UCR. You know, UCI. Those that's Irvine and Riverside. Okay, and then you got Cal State, LA. You know what I mean? That's so it is what it is. But that's going to be the ticket right there, 71-1. We move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into the NBA Super High Five. We got a 33-1 ticket with the under 227 Cavs and Magic, the Nuggets minus 2.5, the Bulls plus 11. Then we have the Wolves plus 150, and then we have the over 236 with the Nets and the Kings. That's a 33-1 ticket. All right, so we have ourselves the Packers and the Giants to kick off our Monday Night Football bets for tonight. Since we do have a double hitter on the Monday Night Football, we have the Packers who are minus 6. We also have the under 17.5 first half, and then we have the Packers money line first quarter, and then we have the Giants under 14.5 as our team total tonight as well, too. So that's what it's going to be tonight. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. But that's going to be the Packers and Giants bets. Now we have the Titans and Dolphins bets tonight. We got the plus 14 on the Titans tonight. Then we got the 7.5 on the Titans tonight. Then we have the over 9.5 first quarter. And then we wrap it up with the under 40.5 plus 190. I feel like we're going to get ourselves a very, very close but underscored game, like say the score ends up like 17-10 or something like that. You know what I mean? But that's where I'm going with this one. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. And we roll from there. All right. So that's going to be a wrap on our talking tickets for today. It's going to be a wrap for the show for today as well, too. I really thank you guys very much for tuning in as well. You guys are the absolute best. And as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving. I'll be back to you tomorrow as well. And pretty much you guys already know what time it is. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the PrimeTime Angles with the one and only Pop DBIC, the PrimeTime Capper, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.